Level 1, the name on paper. The call comes at 2:13 a.m. Mateo doesn't say hello. You need to leave your apartment. You sit up slowly while headlights slide across your ceiling from the street below. Your phone screen glows pale blue in the dark. What happened? You asked questions about the wrong shipment. Then the line dies. You work logistics at a produce warehouse outside Nogales. You make $680 a week moving trucks through customs paperwork. 3 days ago, federal inspectors opened a container everyone else pretended not to see. Yesterday, one of those inspectors disappeared. Now your front door is unlocked. Not open. Unlocked. You know you locked it. The hallway outside smells like bleach and cigarette smoke. You leave with a backpack, $340 cash, and the same shoes you wore to work. At the bus station, nobody looks at you twice. That scares you more. Mateo meets you beside a vending machine with 2 coffees and a pharmacy bag filled with money. $2,400, he says. Go south. Change phones every week. And then what? He shrugs. Nobody teaches survival. The people good at it don't stay alive long enough. The bus leaves at 3:05. By sunrise, your phone fills with missed calls from work. Then Elena texts. Mom says you disappeared. Is everything okay? You type 3 responses and delete all of them. By evening, you understand the first rule of the list. Once your name is written down, normal life becomes something other people are allowed to have. And somewhere beneath the fear, another thought quietly forms. If men this dangerous know your name, maybe you were never as invisible as you thought. Level 2, the runner. You learn cities by their exits. Durango, Tepic, Mazatlan. Bus stations with cracked tile floors. Motel rooms smelling like mildew and bleach. Ceiling fans clicking through humid nights while you sleep fully dressed beside a pistol bought for $900 behind a tire shop. The first time you see your face online, you're eating tacos outside a gas station. A teenager nearby scrolls through cartel gossip channels on Telegram. Your driver's license photo flashes across his screen beside the words. Ask questions about him. Reward pending. You stop chewing. The teenager never notices you. That's another rule. The people hunting you rarely look dangerous. Mateo keeps sending money through strangers. Enough to keep moving. Never enough to disappear. One night, Elena finally reaches you by phone. You sound sick. You sit on the edge of a motel bed while police sirens echo somewhere outside. I'm fine. Mom cries every day. You almost tell her everything. The warehouse. The list. The men looking for you. Instead you ask about home. She talks about ordinary things for 6 minutes. The landlord fixed the water heater. The neighbor's dog died. Your mother still leaves the porch light on every night. When the call ends, you realize you never asked if anyone came looking for you. You used to notice things like that. 3 days later, a mechanic named Julio lets you sleep in his garage because Mateo vouched for you. The next morning you leave before dawn. That night his body appears online beneath a tarp beside a highway. Wrong place. Wrong time. You stare at the photo until your phone screen dims. The list doesn't just hunt you. It hollows out the space around you until helping becomes more dangerous than betrayal. So you stop answering calls. It feels practical. Necessary. By the second month, survival starts feeling less temporary. You carry your pistol everywhere now. Hotel clerks stop asking questions when they see it beneath your jacket. Fear changes shape once you start carrying your own. Level 3, the informant. The first man you sell dies 12 days later. You never see it happen. You just hear Mateo say, he talked too much anyway, over a bad phone connection while you sit outside a seafood restaurant in Los Mochis. The payment arrives before sunrise. $6,000. The man was a courier hiding in the same motel you used last month. He bragged after drinking, mentioned routes, names, pickup schedules. You told yourself someone else would have traded him eventually. That explanation becomes easier every time you use it. Soon Mateo has people calling you directly for information. License plates, addresses, routines. You know how frightened men behave because you are one. A man named Shava starts meeting you in cafes. Mid-40s, polished boots, never raises his voice, Nobody cares about loyalty, he says while stirring sugar into coffee. They care about predictability. The cafe smells like cinnamon and burnt espresso. If someone can predict you, they can use you. And if they can't? Shava smiles slightly. They remove variables. After that, you stop building routines entirely. Different hotels, different routes, different names. Elena still calls sometimes. You let most of them ring. One afternoon, she sends a photo of your mother holding your old baseball glove at the kitchen table. You stare at it for almost a minute before deleting it. That night, you identify another target from blurry security footage. Payment arrives immediately. $11,500. You buy better clothes, a silver watch, hotel rooms with private parking. Waiters address you differently now. You notice that. You don't notice you've started checking exits before sitting down. Shava eventually tells you the truth nobody mentioned earlier. Nobody leaves the list. Rain taps softly against restaurant windows. Then why help them? You ask. He looks genuinely confused. Because surviving near power feels better than dying far away from it. You understand immediately. That's what frightens you most. Level 4, the asset. They stop chasing you publicly after Culiacan. That doesn't mean you're safe. It means you've become useful. Shava brings you into a white stucco house behind a mechanic shop guarded by armed men. Inside, the air conditioning runs cold enough to hurt your teeth. A man named Esteban sits at the dining table eating mango slices dusted with chili powder. You expected someone louder. Instead, he speaks like an accountant reviewing invoices. Mateo says you're reliable. The room smells faintly of gun oil. Esteban slides a photograph across the table. A customs supervisor in Sonora. We need to know who he meets after work. You spend 9 days tracking the man through parking lots, bars, and gas stations. You photograph meetings, record plates, memorize routines. At the end, Esteban hands you $34,000 in cash. Enough for a new life somewhere else. Except now too many people know your face. You rent a house outside Culiacan with security cameras and high walls. Mateo visits once and whistles when he sees the marble floors. You made it, but he says it strangely, like he's talking about someone else. Inside the kitchen, 3 rifles lean beside unopened mail. Your phone vibrates twice. Elena, then Elena again. You silence both calls. Weeks later, Esteban gives you your first assignment involving violence. A pickup arrives before dawn carrying 2 bound men in the truck bed. One keeps praying quietly. Esteban hands you gloves. They stole from us. You wait for more instructions. None come. The morning smells like wet dirt and gasoline. You understand then that hesitation itself is being measured. Takes 4 minutes. Afterward, nobody congratulates you. One guard simply hands you bottled water to wash your wrists. Traffic moves normally outside the property walls. That night you eat steak alone beside the pool while cicadas scream from the trees. You realize you are no longer afraid of dying. You are afraid of becoming unnecessary. Level 5, the ghost. By the 2nd year, people stop using your real name. Phones change monthly, vehicles weekly, apartments seasonally. You move through the organization like weather, present everywhere, own nowhere. The list still exists. Rivals still want you dead. Government units still circulate old photos of your face. But now killing you requires permission from men who kill entire neighborhoods over disrespect. Protection and imprisonment begin to resemble each other. Shava disappears in February. One day his number works. The next day it doesn't. Nobody mentions him again. When you ask Esteban, he keeps signing paperwork inside a warehouse stacked with chemical drums. Focus on living people. The warehouse reeks of acetone strong enough to burn your throat. After that, you stop asking questions about missing men. A recruit named Nico starts accompanying you on jobs. 19 years old. Nervous. Talks too much. He reminds you of yourself before the buses and motel rooms. You ever think about leaving? He asks one night while you wait outside a nightclub for a corrupt police commander. Rain slides across the windshield. No. You don't miss normal life? You stare at the glowing club entrance. Normal life misses you first. Nico doesn't understand the sentence yet. He will. Elena marries a dentist in Hermosillo. You learn through social media photos viewed from a fake account. White dress. Small church. Your mother smiling beside flower arrangements. Nobody saved you a seat. You tell yourself that's safer. Then you drink alone until sunrise anyway. The money becomes abstract around this point. Hidden accounts. Expensive watches. Cash properties under false names. You own 3 vehicles worth more than your childhood home. You also haven't slept peacefully in nearly 2 years. At restaurants, you automatically choose seats facing exits. Fireworks make your hand twitch toward your waistband before your brain catches up. You stopped noticing sunsets somewhere along the way. One night Nico asks how many people you've helped locate. You count silently, then stop counting. Enough, you say. Outside, Banda music rattles the windows from a party down the street. Nico nods like you've taught him something useful. Maybe you have. Level 6, the target worth chasing. The betrayal begins with silence. Meetings get postponed. Calls stop returning. Guards who once nodded respectfully now watch you too carefully. You feel it before you understand it. The same way animals smell storms. Mateo arrives after midnight carrying a shotgun. They're restructuring. That's cartel language for funerals. You pack in under 6 minutes. Cash, weapons, passports. Nothing sentimental because there isn't much left. Outside the city, Mateo finally tells you the truth. Esteban thinks you're building your own network. I am not. Doesn't matter. The truck heater blows dry air smelling faintly of cigarettes. They trust you too much. That's the problem. Mateo dies outside a pharmacy in Durango 2 days later. One shot through the windshield while buying antibiotics. You drive his body 3 miles before stopping beneath an overpass because training overrides grief. Never remain near attack sites. Rainwater drips steadily from concrete overhead. Mateo stares upward with half his face gone. You sit beside the truck listening to traffic above you for 20 minutes. Then you take his phone and leave him there. By morning, every remaining relationship in your life is transactional. No friends. No anchors. Nobody from before. Just people calculating risk. Nico calls unexpectedly. I heard what happened. You say nothing. You need somewhere clean. Months ago, you would have trusted him automatically. Now you inventory exits while speaking to him. What do you want in return? A pause. Nothing. That's how you know he probably means it. And exactly why you decline. The system isn't protecting itself from enemies anymore. It's correcting for your existence. Level 7, the last safe house. The cabin sits deep in the mountains north of Chihuahua. No neighbors. No cell service. No lights except generators. Perfect place to disappear. Temporary place to die. You spend mornings cleaning weapons that already function perfectly. Ritual replaces routine once routine becomes dangerous. The air smells like pine sap and wood smoke. Nico visits twice during winter bringing canned food and newspapers. He looks older now. Harder. You can't stay here forever, he says during the second visit. Snow taps softly against the windows while soup heats on a propane stove. They're offering $500,000. For me, he nods. You remember hiding on buses over rewards that barely existed. Now $500,000 buys your location. The strange part is that you understand why. You know routes, names, officials, storage sites. You are no longer a man. You are accumulated information with a heartbeat. That night after Nico leaves, you inspect his tire tracks in the snow looking for signs he brought company. You find nothing. Still, you sleep holding a rifle across your chest. Weeks later, you discover cigarette butts outside the cabin that aren't yours. 2 different brands. You stand there in freezing wind staring at them while snow melts around your boots. No panic. Just recognition. This is how every story here ends. Not dramatically. Logistically. You burn documents first. Then photographs stored inside an ammunition box. The last picture to catch fire is Elena beside your mother holding a birthday cake. The smoke smells sweet and chemical. By sunset, you're driving south alone with nowhere left to go. Level 8, the man everyone knows. By the end, movement itself becomes impossible. Your face exists in too many phones. Too many conversations. You rent motel rooms under false names nobody believes. Sleep in 30-minute intervals. Keep weapons within arm's reach while showering. Every sound separates itself from silence now. Footsteps. Motorcycles. Car doors outside after midnight. You survive because paranoia eventually becomes accurate. One afternoon in a motel outside Torian, you inventory everything you still own. 2 passports. $187,000 vacuum-sealed inside travel bags. 3 pistols. A silver watch you bought back when money still resembled a future. No photographs. No house keys. No voices calling just to hear yours. The air conditioner rattles constantly above the window. Outside, children splash in the motel pool, while their parents drink beer beneath plastic umbrellas. Normal life continuing 15 yards away from yours. You sit on the bed cleaning a pistol magazine slowly. Not because it needs cleaning, because your hands need something to do. At some point during all this, fear disappeared. Not courage. Not peace. Just exhaustion. Near midnight, headlights sweep briefly across your curtains. You don't reach for the shotgun immediately. You just listen. Engines idling. Doors opening. Measured footsteps. Professional. You already know. Outside, traffic passes normally along the highway. Takes you a few seconds to stand. Somewhere in another city, a warehouse worker is answering questions he shouldn't answer. Somewhere, a frightened man is boarding a midnight bus with borrowed cash and a backpack, believing movement alone can save him. He thinks the list is just a piece of paper. He doesn't understand it's a world. Not yet, but he will.